testing, 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 testing. Pop, pop, pop. Ooh, no popcorn today. No popcorn to. Don't think I need these headphones, everyone, or maybe I should keep them on because they're going to be using a little bit of headphones. Hello, Nick. It's good to see you. Nice to have a lad from the American side over here. Uh, this is the Japan side. Can you hear me? The what we should do, like normally, like like real live streamers, like people that are popular, they like have music playing in the background while people roll in. They're like they they schedule something for 8 o'clock, and then people like they actually start it at like 8:15 or 8:10 or whatever. I can hear you a little quiet, a little quiet here. How about now, Nick? How's that good? Yeah, I mean, is it good now? Is it good? We have one live viewer at the moment. Does it sound a little ASMR? ASMR, like in this the safari of the ASMR. Can you hear me? We're gonna slowly ease in it better. Okay, we're gonna slowly ease into this thing. I'm gonna go on with tell you a little bit about my analog here analogy. Sorry. So usually these live streamers, like the popular guys, they they don't show themselves at the moment. They have like some sort of screen that I hope that mouth stuff didn't hear too much. They show some screen with like it's looping where they've done something or they've said something and it's really exciting. Well, I don't know how to do that. I'm still have no idea how OBS works. StreamYard evidently is just like this. Then there's D Live, but D Live's not YouTube. Then I would have to no one would follow me there anyway. Got three people coming in. But I do have a plan. It's not as cool. Doesn't have a splash screen, but I'm gonna go over to Safari very quickly, and I'm gonna sing a song, two songs, not two full songs, but I'm sing two songs that have influenced me, sorry, when I was a kid, quite a bit, and they are the paddle song. The paddle song is from Scouts. It's because I spent a lot of time in the canoe when I was a kid, in and out of actually not much time in the canoe as a scout, mainly with my family. We had actually it wasn't a real canoe, it was a skanu, so it had a flat back and a flat bottom. So it was better for fishing, but it's essentially a canoe, about as long, and you paddled in the same way, but it had a flat back so you could put a motor on it, and it was a little bit stabler in side winds. Anyway, the paddle song goes like this. Let me first get a sip of my iconic York. York University is the third largest university in Canada, uh, famous for the slogan, if you can go to York. No, if you can hold a fork, you can go to York. Just a moment. The whistle is wetted. Here we go. We're still doing this as people come in. Who knows? Maybe there'll only be three people. You guys are going to get it. Our paddles keen. Wait, sorry, that was a false start. Our paddles keen and bright, flashing like silver, swift as the wild goose flies. Flies? What? Uh, all right, they made a mistake. There's swift as a wild goose flight. You know what? That makes sense because it rhymes. Okay, that was a false start again. Okay, our paddles clean. Mm. Our paddles keen and bright, flashing like silver, swift as a wild goose flight. Dip, dip, and swing. Dip, dip, and swing them back, flashing like silver, swift as the wild goose flight. Dip, dip, and swing. And you repeat that on as long as you're kind of, you know, enjoying it. And when you're like, there's like a headwind, you're like, our paddles can break, flashing like silver. Hurry up, Kristen, pull your weight, you freaking dip, dip. And like, all right. So, anyway, that's a great song for when you're canoeing. See any reactions to this? Got five people in, no comments. That's cool. Don't need any comments, but one last song, and then we're going to get into the meat of this thing. And we're not going to do the entire song because it's long. It's by John Denver. It's called "Thank God I'm a Country Boy." Now, I'm not a country boy. I grew up in well, I was born in the country, but I grew up. By the way, if you hear a roar in the background, it's hot now in Japan, so I've got the aircon on. I turned the hard disk off at least. Okay, this one is called, yeah, like I said, "Thank God I'm a Country Boy." Um, and I actually, until this moment, only knew two stanzas or whatever they're called. But today, I will try to sing I'll sing two. Yeah. I'll sing the first one I sing is the one that I knew, and then after that I'll sing the one that came before it. So how's that? Oh, here we are. Well, I got me a fine wife. I got me old fiddle when the sun's come. Ha! False start. Ha! Okay. Well, I got me a fine wife. I got me old fiddle when the sun comes up. I got cakes on the griddle. Life ain't nothing but a funny, funny riddle. Thank God I'm a country boy. Well, a simple kind of life never did me no harm. Raising me family and working on a farm. My days are filled with an easy country charm. Thank God I'm a country boy. Now that's the one I didn't know, and that's it. I think that's good enough. There's actually how many stanzas for this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 stanzas in that, and I don't think anyone wants to hear me go on. So here we are. Welcome, guys. It's really good to see you. We're going to be testing uh, 4 different high-end earphones or headphones, cans, whatever you would call it, with 3 or 4 separate MD players and recorders. And the reason is this. The reason is uh, I wanted to do it all with the Sharp MD DS55, which is the best sounding MD portable, probably possibly on the planet. It tests just a little bit worse than the EH1. Uh, However, no hiss at all, and its signal is stabler with or without load, where the EH1 needed to have something plugged into it in order to have a fully stable signal. This also, if you've got it plugged in with a 4-pole TRRS cable, you get basically 80 to 90 decibels of stereo range, and it keeps that pretty well under load, and that does not happen with the EH1. So, however, problem is that what's in my studio at the moment, this is where I'm shooting these things for magazine. What's in my studio at the moment are 4 earphones for which I have, and headphones for which I have no balanced connections. So they will be plugged into this, 3 of them at least, just to see their hiss sort of signature. One problem a lot of you guys, well, some of you guys may know. I think I'm the hiss king at HeadFi, although uh, not so popular at HeadFi right now. I'm the hiss king there, and I think I'm even more of the hiss king over at Minidisc forums, and that is because I think a lot of the Minidisc people are in it for the love of the game of Minidisc. They're resurrecting the format. They're just really liking it. And myself, I am. I'm actually in it for that as well as just for. I'm actually. Someone called me hipster the other day when I published an article at Fuji Rumors. It was about a fisheye lens, and his reasons were because I had a shirt that had plaid on it, and I guess everyone that wears a plaid shirt is hipster. And I have glasses that look like this. Now, in 1996, I had tiger stripe glasses. Um, I don't think hipsters were a thing back then. I was 16. There were a couple reasons. They were $60. $60 in Canada. Most glasses are like 400, 300, $400. So part of that was my family. They're like, we'll give you $80. And right around $80 are glasses that like almost looked good, uh, but didn't. And then there were glasses that looked bad from the outstart, but would last you 5 or 6 years. So we went for those. And I also had my hair shaved down the top, and it was out like that on the sides, which I made stand on end with petroleum jelly. If that's hipster, then yeah, I'm hipster. But the point of that little analogy was the fact that I do carry MD because of, yeah, nostalgia factor, absolutely. And today I have units that weren't even available back when I was into MD 20 years ago, uh, originally. And I also like the fact that some of these things sound good. And I love the fact that if you're carrying a recorder, especially, you can title on the go. Uh, there's a whole bunch of things you can do that you can't do with a modern MP3 player or uh, even a smartphone. So I'm a hipster because I carry MD. But the point of all this is I don't have the connections for the proper earphones here, so I can't test it in balanced. But because I'm terribly into sound quality, I'm going to talk about hiss. I imagine that some of these are super duper sensitive. In fact, one of the earphones I actually have in custom format. That's a FitEar ToGo 335. I have it in custom, which is not the ToGo, it's the DW, and that's the one that I think 5 or 6 years ago. Yeah, about 5 years ago or 6 years ago. Yeah, they allowed you to pick up and then you could send it back to them and get an upgrade of like platinum sound tubes or something like that. Well, my ears are a little bit too small on the inside, so I can't do that. But I got that bad boy in custom. I'm not going to compare the two, but that thing hisses mad. The only other earphone I know that hisses as much as it is the Shure SE846. So anyway, that's it. Let's take mainly, the MZ-NH1. This is going to be the main driver for this event. And then if we need a little more power, we're going to move over to the Sharp MT27 or MT-MD270. I think I got that right. It's actually kind of cheating. This thing's supposed to have a 10 millimeter milliwatt headphone output. It doesn't. I mean, if it does, it's really hampered by the signal coming in because it doesn't get that loud. And of course, the last one is the DS55. And the earphones today, just to show you that I'm not cheating or lying, or hopefully not. Um, they're looped over here over my drawer. We're gonna start. We're gonna start. What's the, what's the order of this thing? What did I say it was? What did I say it was? What did I say it was? Here, let's go to Fauxtaku Lounge. On the Safari. Ooh, Google it. It came up. It's cool. Um, Here we are. I got to go FitEar JHA final and then RAAL or RAAL, or whatever they call it. All right. So FitEar first. We're going to FitEar ToGo 335. Hope you guys are ready for this. All right. FitEar, where are you? No, that's Jerry Harvey. That's an impressive earphone. FitEar. I'm going to have to take off these headphones. All right. So obviously, because I'm going to test them. All right. This is the first time I've ever tested these. Basically, I don't use a lot of high-end earphones with my favorite MD players. There's a whole bunch of reasons for it. Main reason is I used to really be into high-end earphones and headphones. However, I found that over the years, the earphones that I picked up in 2008, the CK10 from Audio Technica, and then later Sony EX1000, are my favorite earphones, and I haven't really moved on from them. So there are better sounding earphones, but they're not way better sounding. So we're just going to go here. I'm going to check to see if we got a disc in here. I don't remember what's in here. My guess is it's Time Cop 1983 Lovers or something like that. We're going to go remoteless. All right. All right. Oh, all right. Let's play this bad boy here. This is the FitEar ToGo 335. First, we're going to test for hiss. Sounds rolling. It's a little bit loud. Ooh, we're going to make the volume go down just a bit. And if you got any questions, just put them up in the chat. If you're like, so what's about those earphones? Oh yeah, what's about these earphones? They're in Japan. They'll be going for about $1,600 US. They got 5 drivers per side, so five drivers in here, balanced armature, and then 5 drivers in this side as well. And they have a 3-way passive crossover. Let me put a link in the action here. It's English. They're from Ginza, so they're Japanese brand. Disclaimer: I sometimes do some translations for them. Money, and I did one photo shoot for them 6 years ago. Disclaimer. So check out that link there, and you can find out all about these bad boys. These are the FitEar ToGo with an exclamation point 335 real 3-way 5-driver earphone. Some cool graphic stuff going there. Professional sound, more affordable. Yeah, these were designed by a pretty damn famous, I shouldn't swear, famous, uh, famous let's stay with famous sound engineer from Japan, as well as, of course, in conjunction with FitEar themselves. Uh, Now, the reason why I don't have a balanced cable, actually, I do somewhere in the house, is these have a proprietary connector. Evident, I don't know if you can see this. It's actually from the police, Japan police. They use it on their little like wireless stuff. Uh, it's good. It's strong. Looks like this. It actually looks quite a bit like the Sennheiser one, but it's not. Can't use it. I can't find my other cable. I've been moving things around. So and that one actually has some connection problems anyway, so I couldn't properly check it with the Sharp. So let's put this bad boy in. And first we're gonna check for how much hiss. So we're gonna go set the volume all the way down. And I'll tell you what I hear in the background. In the background, there is a steady, but it's a low amount of. It doesn't modulate up and down. So that means now, of course, this is all dependent on the player that I'm connecting these earphones to. And the NH1 is a high quality, good sounding player or recorder. It's one of the best on the market. So you you will only really better it whilst if you get to something like a Sharp Alvi and you use balanced output. There's not really anything from Sony except for, of course, their EH1 that sounds better and tests better, and of course the DHP, the one that plays MP that looks like an MP3. Well, it doesn't look like an MP3 player, but I don't understand anything about sound devices. Really sorry, Felipe. It's okay, man. Uh, Welcome. Sorry about spelling your name wrong, and thank you for being here, man. Sound devices. These are. Hey, well, just look at the. You don't. If you don't know anything about sound devices, just check out in the background. There's some C stands there for you. So enjoy the C stand, and if you see a blue cast, it's a continuous light, which I'm actually trying to use for a photo shoot at the moment. It's not. Anyway, thank you for being here, man. He was the first gentleman to buy a hat. You guys, come on, you buy hats too. Thank you very much. Yeah, first one, 001 serial. Not that I'm expecting only to sell 900. I hope to sell 999. All right, back to the Sony. So it's a good sounding MD player, very good. Uh, Problems with the stereo, but not bad, and it holds load very well, but not perfectly. And I'm hearing a small amount of hiss in the background, kind of like a very uh, shallow rush. But it's not enough that once you bump the volume up one setting, you still hear it for sure, but just barely. And these earphones, like I said, are extremely sensitive. You'll hear hiss from the vacuum of space through them. Let's see. So at the moment, with these fit ears, I'll say this: that this MD player is perfectly willing, and this is from what 2004, I believe. 2004 is perfectly willing and able to do an earphone, a high-end universal earphone, $1,500, $600 from 2020. And the sound. Let's see here. The fit ear itself, it really does remind me of the custom version. Probably is the same guts if it is. It's got kind of a thick lower mid range, a big bass, but not a lot of sound pressure. And so big, it's probably congealed more in the center with not a huge stereo spread out there. And it's got a nice kind of smooth extension up into the highs that doesn't peak. It's a good sounding earphone. In fact, it's a type of sound that I've recently really been getting into. ToGo 335DW, and it's a great combination with the Sony MZ-NH1. Let's just move this disc over to the Sharp, and oh wow, stop. However, one thing, when I hit, if you don't disable the beep on this bad boy, these things are so sensitive. Then I hit stop, the beep was like, "Ah!" and it went right in my ears, and I was like, yikes, man, it hurt. All right, this disc is now going to go to the MT-270. This player, it's a recorder, sorry. Tiny little screen, a very interesting recorder. It's the only one of Sharp's that I know at least, or this series, that you can adjust bass, mids, and highs on 3 or 4 axes. So let's see here. Let's hit play. Make sure the volume's way down first. Oh, it's all the way up at 30 out of 30. Good thing. When you got sensitive earphones, especially, make sure you start with the volume way down. All right, how's it going? First, we're going to test hiss. So volume's going to go all the way down. And just like that, man, just like that. Now, this recorder doesn't do earphones as well, at least supply them with good frequency response as well as a Sony. Why is this? I guess it has a lower current to voltage ratio. So what you're going to get is you're going to get a suck out in the high upper bass or upper mids, and you'll get a little bit of a roll off in the bass. However, this is the good thing about Sharp is that even if you have kind of a mediocre output, you can have less hiss than you will on most Sony devices. So at the moment, despite these being super sensitive, there is a certain amount of hiss, but it's about half of what the Sony, the more expensive, high-end, first generation MH or high MD Sony recorder did. So yeah. Now let's just put volume up 1. Ooh. 2 out of, and the volume, this is what I like also about the Sharp. The Sony, you go from 0 to the first volume setting, and it's like suddenly music. Now this one, it eases much more into it. If you're really sensitive and you're like at your bed and you want to listen, some people do this, Felipe, just so you know. Some people are on their beds and like, I want to listen to music through my earphones whilst I'm sleeping, which generally means, if they're sticking out, you got to lay, back with, your head pointing, your nose pointing at the ceiling. Well, some people do like that. You could definitely do it with this, the MT-270. Very good volume control. Let's pump up the jam just a little bit. Supposed to have a 10 millimeter watt amp. I don't notice a huge difference driving regular earphones versus a Sony, which has a 5. I love. Oh, by the way, music is Time Cop 1983. I believe the album is called Lovers. You know what? Let's put that in the live chat here, since you guys are so excited at the moment. Time Cop 1983 Lovers albums. Let's go albums because I think I have this wrong. Albums. Lovers. I think this is what it is. Let's click on it. I think this is the right thing. So we're going to put this in the chat here. You guys none of you guys are like really chatting today. That's all right. 6 of you watching at the moment. It might be more, might be less. Anyway, super duper impressed by the amount of hisses the bass comes in. You know what's interesting here? Let me just check if I have basses off, by the way. Okay, I have everything set to 1, which is the lowest setting for bass, lows, and mids. And very interesting about this player is the Sony actually sounds thicker through the bass than this. Now, obviously, that's not just the Sharp's signature. That is because this thing doesn't supply as much current to voltage ratio. So what you're going to get is a bit of a drop in the bass because it's not able to sustain those low notes. However, I didn't expect it to be back to back this evident. Definitely the bass feels a lot slimmer on this thing, and you're getting more of a focus on the mids. So that's very interesting. Again, $1,600 earphones from FitEar from Ginza. And I think we've heard enough of that at the moment. Let's move to the final Sharp. I think we'll do it. We'll do it. Actually, you know what? We don't have to. That thing, if this thing barely hisses, this thing won't. So let's not do that. If we get anything that's a little bit more hissy, then we'll kind of do that. And I think one of these earphones can be connected via a TRRS MMCX connection. If I have the cable here somewhere, hopefully I do. Just a moment. Let me. I was super organized yesterday, and then there was. Oh yeah, gotta apologize for all this. There was. No, there was an earthquake, and then what happened after the earthquake was my internet went out. That's why we're doing this today. Sorry about that, guys. 7 people. Hey, welcome to the next person who came. 7 people, man. 7 people listening to high-end earphones on Minidisc, obsolete Minidisc, but six. Okay, yeah. The moment you mention obsolete, everyone's like, "Oh, wait. Did we come into an obsolete conversation about anything?" And we're like, all right. Keep these in. No, we're done with these. Done with these. Good sound. Uh, nice meaty bass, but it's not huge sound pressure, so don't expect like boom. Uh, and then good mids, not too peaky highs. Anyway, good sound. Felipe, what's this? Wait, what? What's this? I'm take these out, by the way. Am I too loud? Hopefully not. Wow. Once I take them out, I sound really super loud. So FitEar ToGo 335 on a Sony NH1 MZ-NH1 from 2004 or 5, first generation high MD player, as well as MT270 from Sharp, which was a Europe and America only version that for some reason you can't get in Japan. It's one of the coolest ones because it takes a regular battery and it gets, it's just great. What's this, 1600? Yeah, $1,600, man. Uh, so as much as a pretty high-end camera. In fact, as much as the Canon EOS R is going for in Japan at the moment. That's that's the cheapest of today's earphones. The point of the point of this sort of not experiment. The point of this video is to kind of just show Minidisc, which is my favorite sound format. Uh, you know, some of the maybe not some of the best unit. Well, okay, one of these is the best unit that ever existed, I think, for Minidisc, at least sound wise, and the other one is first generation of when MD got really interesting. Also, when it was basically dead. Another one is just kind of a less expensive model that was released in Europe and America, and I just wanted to show how these things, which are obsolete, which shouldn't hold a candle to DAPs of today, that's for digital audio player, how they might sound with high-end earphones and headphones. Um, Now, I'm not doing a direct back and forth with like a plain UR, which I do have. I'll do that later, probably not in the live view, but yeah, that was the cheapest of today's earphones, $1,600 for this fit here. 5 speakers, driver. Felipe, by the way, the lingo you got to remember is driver is short, not short. I don't know. It's another word. It's parlance, also audiophile parlance for speaker. So it's got 5 speakers per side, and it has 3 passive crossover. I think it's passive crossover. It might be, or network, whatever you call it, which then divide those speakers up into channels, and then it actually the sound comes out of 3 sound tubes, one being titanium. I said platinum earlier. I meant titanium. I'm not sure if you can see it. Here, I'm gonna take off. This is cool, man. Felipe, welcome, dude. Welcome. Not sure if you can see it. Okay, you see that? You can't really see it. In the middle, there's kind of a silver-looking round thing. That's the middle channel, and I think that's for highs. Could be wrong. Might be for bass. And then alongside, there's a gap on either side. I've got a little bit of a tremor, so if I turn it, well, it's not so bad today. There's a gap down here and up here, and those are also channels themselves, and they go to different bundles of drivers. All right, so that is the ToGo 335 with a couple of different MD players. And it looks like I kind of screwed the pooch because I can't see the TRS cable that I had. I actually have one here, but it's attached to a very special modification for a Sony EX1000, and that bad boy I broke already. So if I try to take that off, I don't want to break it again because this modification here, that's an MMC export going into a Sony EX1000 proprietary angle, whatever cable, something like that. When I took it off before, I broke this thing. So I'm not going to do that today. So where is my? I had a spare. Ooh, it's right there. I felt that my daughter was in here earlier and she was playing with stuff. I'm going to blame it on her. Okay, I'm just going to reach down and get that, and we're going to move to our next earphone. Yes. All right. So we can test the sharp out later on. All right. So the title of this stream. What's the next video here? John Denver. No, that's not what we're looking for. Hey, where is it? Digital audio. Alvi. Nah. Oh man, did I shut my? Can I go into my own title here, guys? I'm a professional, man. Professional. So cool to be professional. Edit stream. No, end stream. Don't click that. All right. You know, when there's these like moments here when I'm down like this, all you got to do is be like, our battles gleaming bright, flashing like silver, swift as the wild goose flies, dip, dip, and swing. I lost a person doing that. Okay, so we're going FitEar, Jerry Harvey, Audio, Final, then RAAL. I'm going to keep this window up here. Okay, here we are, guys. We're going to go to Jerry Harvey Audio. Are we seriously going to Jerry Harvey Audio? Seriously? According to that? We are going to Jerry Harvey Audio. Now, Jerry Harvey Audio is a very interesting one to go to after FitEar. Jerry Harvey is basically, Felipe, you're going to have to be, this is going to have to explain to you. Everyone else knows who he is. He used to do soundboard engineering, I believe, for Van Halen. So that's awesome. And then he's like tatted up from like his wrist to his like practically probably up here. He looks like a biker. He looks like the type of man you don't want to tango with. But when you meet him in person, he's the nicest guy. He's the type of man that you'll talk with in person, and he will devote all of his attention right to you, and he won't be looking around the room like some people do. And he's not trying to shuffle you off. He's just there for you, and he's in the earphone world. And this does exist. He's a rock star. Everyone knows who he is. Suyama-san, who designed FitEar, the last earphone that I showed here, basically got in love with what FitEar, with what Jerry Harvey designed. So he's basically inspired the most famous. I think they're still the most famous Japanese custom and now universal earphone maker in the high-end market, and probably loads and loads of other people. Anyway, cool guy. He is super famous for bringing out customs as well as universals that have loads of drivers per side that basically push the boundary for connection quality, like uh, for sort of customization of sound. This thing here, we're not going to test it today, but it has some sort of passive sort of attenuator, probably for bass and treble, that you can get out with with a little bit of a screwdriver, something like that. We're not going to test that today. What came into my office doesn't only has a 3.5 millimeter stereo connection, so we're not going to be doing balanced. These things, Felipe, 12 speakers, 12 drivers per side. Let's get the connection. It's called Roxanne, and then it's AIOI. So IOI or EO or something like that. Roxanne. 7-pin. Here, let's get the connection here. Right there. If you click on that, you can find out all about these bad boys, and they go for $2,299. Okay, Felipe. Wait, what? 2,999? Come, I'm waiting for you to do that. Powered by SoundVree, 12 drivers per side, quad low. So there's 4 speakers dedicated to bass, 4 for mid, and 4 for high end. Proprietary balanced armatures. I've not put these in my ears before. We're gonna see how they sound with these MD players. These are a little bigger, obviously. They're packing in 12 drivers a side, so they got it. Oof. The sound tube is a little thick. Oh man. One thing, I love the sound of Jerry Harvey earphones, but I found that fit is just I've got tight canals, that FitEar themselves said they couldn't upgrade my DW, my 335 DWs with, so because they were too tight. So this is kind of rough. Okay, back to the NH1 time cop. play. One thing I noticed so far, they're not quite as sensitive as a FitEar. How do I know that? Because when I hit play, the beep isn't piercing right in my ears. It's just, it's enough. It's enough, but it's not too much. FitEar, no, sorry. So we are now doing for everyone who came in or left, Jerry, Harvey, Roxanne, and the name is, again, let's check this, A-I-O-N. Aeon or Eon, something like that. Okay, FitEar, I've been used to this sound, had it for 6 years in the custom format. Very good sound. Immediately, I'll tell you this, the Roxanne's, the sort of stereoscape that I'm getting is going swirling all around my head. Again, these are $2,299 earphones. Sound is going all around my head, man. And the bass, where is it coming from? It's like, instead of just coming straight from the throat or sometimes from the side, it like came up through the shoulders like this, and then, this is all happening through the NH1, which I know is not best able to drive multiple driver earphones. It should keep a stereo, a flat frequency response, but it's not gonna be perfect. The sound is just all around me, man. These things are incredible. Incredible. And also you can't see it here, but the cable, it's connected with 7 pins. I don't know if that makes a big difference or what. 7 pins, and there's a rubber gasket around them. Felipe, you'll like this. Just like you'll get around lenses, around certain camera port driver doors, etc., to keep water out. There's a gasket in this cable part. Now, why probably did Jerry Harvey do this? Because he's designed for musicians on a stage, and musicians on a stage are probably sweating and dancing and going crazy, and that will keep sweat out from the very precious innards of these things. That is awesome, man. Jerry Harvey, tight. This is too tight. The sound is incredible. We're not even getting too far into the song at the moment, but it sounds amazing through this now 15-year-old or 16-year-old MD player. Yeah, it sounds better than FitEar. I think I like it better. You might not. It's a little bit more. I would say it's a little bit less reference from. Now the FitEar isn't exactly like even Steven flat, and it's got a little bit more focus toward the low end and the mids, but that's probably a better sort of thing for the stage. These ones, this is like an audiophile earphone, man. When you just want to listen to music, this is an audiophile earphone. Holy crikey, does this thing sound good? There's a little bit of busyness when there all this swirly like stereo information coming around and vocals come through it. There's a little bit of busyness, but and a little bit less focus on the vocals. So the FitEar, the vocals will come through a little bit straighter and clearer. So if you're really into vocals and that's the most important thing, this sounds good, but it's wanting you to focus on so many things at one time. Was a FitEar is like, okay, here's the vocals. Now notice everything else, but here's the vocals. Nick is like Nicholas. Sorry, Nicholas. Good to have you, dude. I could relate to that. Yeah, if you got small canals, it's tough. And I'm a white guy. I hear that Asian females have really tight ear canals. My wife, she has trouble even with like the Apple earbuds. So there's no way. Plus, this thing wouldn't even. This thing it takes up my entire conch or whatever the bowl of my ear. My wife would never be able to get these in her ear. Oh man. Okay, there. This is a little bit. This is good for me. Jerry Harvey, amazing sound. Oh wait, I gotta try it on the sharp. The hiss, not so bad. FitEar's way more hissy. I prefer earphones that are not as hissy. So far, the Jerry Harvey's got quite a bit of points in its favor. Yeah. All right, we're gonna move this over to the sharp. Just this sharp. We're not gonna, since we don't have the connection, we're not gonna move it over to the high-end sharp that I got for $40. Yeah, eat your heart out, Astel and Kern. Play. Start low. What I like another thing I like about MD, uh, Felipe, you'll probably maybe be able to relate. If you listen to music on your smartphone, you pull out the cable, it does stop the music. That's cool. That is cool and it makes sense. But with MD, there's no sensors or anything like that, so it's old school. You plug it in, the music is still going. Okay, so the amount of hits with the MT270 is really low. We're talking about mid to high end MD players from about 5 years ago level. So that's that's a roundabout way of saying that there's a bit of hiss. You'll notice it with a definitely you'll notice it. Maybe you'll notice it. I'm the hiss king, so this is something that really sticks out to me. You'll notice it with these Roxannes. Again, $2,300 earphones, but even you only barely notice it when music's not going or when the amp is not going. You turn it up one volume. I got to be honest, I'm not sure if I can really tell the hiss is there. It's very low. Now, what I'm interested here is once the vocals get going, I'm just going to fast forward to that area. If the vocals are able to stick out a little bit more, because I assume that the high end or the high mids are not going to show themselves very well through this thing because of the problem with the current to drive ratio, or current to voltage ratio. Fast forward here. Here we are. Vocals. Okay. The Sony definitely has the upper hand here. Where where the Jerry Harvey was not at all confusing sounding through the Sony, these ones, everything in the mid range is just muddy by way of comparison. There, I don't hear the swirling of different elements going around my head. The vocals are definitely in the center, but but they're like, how would I describe it? They're kind of melding with stuff around them a little bit more for sure. So the Sony definitely sounds better, but it hisses a bit more. However, the bass on this one, weirdly, even though bass shouldn't be as good, there's more of a foot to it. And the bass goes down, there's more of a reverberation right at the bottom. All right. Sharp, thank you. Roxanne, thank you. How do I turn this off? All right. That's that. I'm going to put that. And the last earphone we're going for, I believe we're going out of order in terms of price, but is the most beautiful of the three. And it's designed ground up to be a universal earphone. This is from Final Audio, or they used to be called Final Audio Design. Now they're just called Final. It's called the A8000. It doesn't cost 8,000. It costs 2,000, which is enough. I believe the body is made out of polished steel. It's heavy. This thing uses an MMCX connection, so we'll actually be able to use it on the Sharp. I'm excited about that. It has a beryllium driver, 10 millimeter, I believe. Let's just see here. I'm going to get the link up for it just so all you guys can find out. A8000. They have some beautiful natural photography for their stuff. They're a pretty awesome company. Again from Japan. Okay, so this is the final A8000. Click on the link. I'm gonna get a fork eating. Sorry about the sound. Sip of coffee. You'll notice here. Let's go down. Everyone with me. Click on the link, man. Final's flagship model. Their text is little. Final's flagship model realizes transparent sound for the uplift that can be gained by listening to music. They definitely need a copy editor for their English. As a beryllium diaphragm, there have been a number of beryllium diaphragm earphones in the past. Most notably, one of my favorites from Campfire Audio out of Oregon, and there's more. By the way, the first time I'd ever encountered beryllium in any form was the Noble Audio 1, which is a speaker, $17,000 speaker that I shot here in 2015 or 16. That was tough, man. They're like, "Hey, Nathan, we'd like you to shoot this." I'm like, "Cool. My studio can shoot anything up to 30 centimeters." And in their brain, 30 translated to 30 inches, and it was tough. This room is, I think, it's 4 meters by 3.5. If you're doing something 30 inches tall, you need a room at least twice the size in order to get all the lighting placed in the right way. But I was able to make it look good. In fact, you know what? Here, let's see. Mobile audio one speaker. Let's see here. Noble one. Let's see if they still got pictures of it. It's been out for a little while. Do 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 do. All right. So this thing, I got lots of links in the chat today, but that's a $17,000 or $18,000 speaker that I shot for them 6 years ago. Felipe, that was back when I was using the Sony A7R after upgrading from the, not actually, it was downgrade from the D800. Um, anyway, it was a cool project, but it was a little bit too much for my small studio. All right, so A8000 from Final. I'm expecting these to be relatively sensitive. Hopefully not as sensitive as the FitEar. Let's put these bad boys on. Sound velocity is supposed to be higher than aluminum and magnesium, so I imagine also that I don't know what that means. Maybe it'll be higher pitched. I don't know. All right. Very nice cable, by the way, Final. Wow. Beautiful cable. It's not too thick. It's not too heavy. There's very little sound transfer in here. Sweating a bit. Oh, this is a nice cable. This is a great cable. All right. Let's see. Do we have the disc in the Sony MZ-NH1? Yes, we do. This is a $2,000 earphone versus actually a pretty expensive MD player. Testing for hiss. I detect none. Wow, that's nice. So these are rather insensitive earphones. I could have told you that because when I hit play, the beep was like, it wasn't beep, it was beep. Wow. Through the NH1. Okay, I was wrong. There's a tiny amount of hiss. It's just barely there. It's barely there at all, man. Just a little tiny bit. Now, I've noticed that these like kind of weird sounds that are in this song, it's a good song, that's not what they actually sound like, are a little bit more bitey on this earphone, certainly than the Roxanne. Let's see here. And the sound it's a lot just straighter through. What I mean is there's nothing swirling around my head. Now that can be a good thing and a bad thing. So the lower sort of like pushes from the mids and the bass, they're just kind of like rolling forward like that, but they're not swirling around my head whilst rolling forward. If they don't hiss on this thing, they're not going to hiss on the Sharp. I'm not even going to bother with the Sharp. Not with this Sharp. We're going to put it on the Sony Killer, but now we're getting to like a little bit more meat to this thing. Come on, man. We lost a guy. We lost two guys in the last 2 minutes. Come on. Come back. Come back. Yeah, the beep is just the word. Yeah, Nicholas, like, dude, the beep is just the worst with sensitive headphones. Yes, it's horrible. And with those fit ears, it was just way too much. In fact, sensitive earphones is something I really dislike. Why are we still making sensitive earphones when even MD players back from the day give you plenty of volume, plenty of drive, and everything from mid-range headphones? Why do we have earphones that need to be that sensitive? If you can hear a hiss from a modern like Fio, that's too sensitive. Absolutely. Okay, this earphone reminds me a lot of the Sony EX5000. However, the upper mids are just a little bit more exciting. Now that's saying a lot of good because the Sony EX1000 is my favorite. It's a good sounding earphone. It's my favorite single driver earphone on the market. It's not on the market ever. Okay, these are all right. The upper mids are really excited on this thing. Once the vocals poked through and then the melody picked up, it's like right around the singer in Time Cop in the Lovers. It was like an explosion of like what is that? It's an electronic chime, electronic percussion, and it's going, but it's splashing quite a bit actually up there. Not splashing in a bad way, not like it's a splashy sound, but it's splashing right around the vocalist. But the bass is beautiful and centrally located right under that. It's a very good contrast. You know, all of these earphones I'd need a lot longer with in order to be able to describe what I like and dislike about them and what more honestly happens under the skin. Uh, okay, I gotta say, probably I like the bass presentation better on these earphones than any of the other ones. I just like the fact that it's coming centrally right up my spine and it's right under the vocalist and it's just anchoring everything perfectly. This is my own personal preference here. These are nice sounding earphones, a little bit bright up in the upper mids. These are really nice. Final A8000 and not too sensitive. That is such a big plus. All right, let's recable these things and put them on the Sony Killer MD DS55. Thank you, Sony NH1. That was good. So, Felipe, these are $2,000 earphones. Thank you for sticking this long. If you're still here, by the way, since your audio is not your main hobby. Okay, DS55. Nicholas. We're on the same page, man, on this MD thing. As far as I can tell, rock as well. All right, so I'm gonna take off the cable. Oh, these are $2,000 earphones. This is what I hate about MMCX. If the body isn't designed well, it's really hard to get off. I got. Oh, I didn't break anything. That's good. That's the most important. These are not my earphones. Oh yes, we can do it. We can do it. Okay. Just gotta remember this thing looks a lot like the cheap cable that I got from Amazon. By the way, I guess it's kind of a live unboxing. I've got 3 of these. Yeah, 3 of these, 2 of these maybe. This is 3.5 millimeter TRRS to MMCX. So that'll get you stereo from. It looks like a lot of new. This is amazing things. This so bloody amazing. A lot of new Chinese Chi-Fi DAPs are adopting what is called 3.5 Pro, which is just TRRS 3.5 millimeter. So it's not stereo, it's balanced. It's been on the market, as far as I know, from like 2003 when Sharp introduced it, or 2002 when Sharp introduced it through their Alvi line of players. Um, it's not the same thing as a 4-pole that has a mic'd line. No, it's this Sharp. Nathan Wright, why do you keep talking about the Sharp and why have you not plugged into it? Because as good as this thing is for not hissing, it's a bugger. Because if you plug in any regular headphone into it, you will get no stereo at all. Well, today we are plugging in not a regular headphone a cable, sorry. We're plugging in a balanced. So you get actually proper separate plus and minus left and right. Let's see, where's this is left? This is a cheap cable, 2,000 yen. It's like 20 bucks. Please don't break anything. These bodies are so slippery, man. All right. Plugging it in just so you know. You can see cheap cable goes to the 8,000 balanced. Going into what I consider the best sounding portable MD player on the market or recorder. Sounds better than the DR7. As far as I know, the DR77, I don't remember. None of my DR77s work unless extremely lucky. All right. Just so you know, it's all plugged in the same thing. I'm not cheating. Not cheating. A8000, $2,000 earphone. Hit play. Look at that. It's flashing. Better turn the volume down. This thing also gets loud. All right, Nicholas. You praying with me? Oh, man, I love this so much. No hiss. I mean, it's not the most sensitive earphone, but there's nothing. There's nothing. This unplugged sounds exactly like with the amplifier off or set to 0. That and this, there's no difference in hiss. In other words, there's none because when it's unplugged, there's nothing for it to hiss through. Okay, let's pump up the jam. Felipe, thank you. Oh, oh. Don't want to repeat that sound too much. Let's get a sip of coffee. Don't want to swallow into the microphone. It's not that type of channel. It's not that type of channel. It's family friendly. I just swallowed. Man, these Sharp Alvies, if you actually wire them correctly, they sound so good. They're every bit on the same page as a mid-end DAP from today. Yeah, sure. If you use one with like proper NOS chips or with tubes, you'll get a much different and depending on your situation, better sound with a adapt. But these Sharps, man, they're every bit as good as a mid-end like DAP that's using off the shelf high end DACs in them. Absolutely. And in fact, this thing is going to hiss less than a lot of those on the market. You know, your modern Cohens don't hiss, but even the D1, the Plenu D1, that thing hissed. That's only from 3 or 4 years ago. Your Sony's hiss. This hisses less than a Sony. That's like $3,000. This thing keeps up the bass pressure really well. Wow. And it's funny. What I liked about this thing through the Sony stereo was how the bass was more anchored through here, but the bass is actually expanded quite a bit. It's more like this, and there's a lot more sort of not texture detail, but there's a lot more sort of situational left and right detail in the bass once it's balanced like this through the Sharp. I'll hold this up again. Look at it. Tells you it's going. It's actually a bad design though. The body is plastic on the bottom. It flexes too much. Good battery life though. More than 30 hours. Yeah, more than 30 hours. Come on, DAP makers. I know you get more powerful amps and all that. Okay. So what I complained about or kind of mentioned earlier is once the vocals get going, there's a lot of kind of sort of confusion around the vocals that there wasn't in the other earphones, and it's the same thing with balance. In fact, it's a little bit worse, and I think that not worse. It's more pronounced. So where there was like this like kind of splashiness around the vocalist, it's even more splashy through the Sharp, and it's not because the Sharp is doing things bad. It's because this earphone is fed more information for stereo, and so I would consider, for my own personal listening habits, that as much as I like the A9000, I would definitely not want to listen to it balanced, as it appears that there's whatever sort of splashiness was there is multiplied. Apart from that, I really like it, and I would probably EQ some of the mids down just a little bit. But if all of that was in place, and I'm instead of getting 90 decibels of stereo separation, I'm getting 50 to 60, I would probably prefer these earphones over the Roxanne and the FitEar. So It's in between the two in price, of course. So this is 2,000. The other one was 1,600. The FitEar was 1,600, and the Roxanne was 2,300. Okay. Yeah, the Sharp, better sound, but it's revealing more of the sort of stock sound of the A8000, which is just a little bit. It's a little bit cutting, a little bit, tiny bit cutting, in the upper mids, and there's a little bit of a kind of a weird. I'm calling it splashing right now, but not splashing like the reverb way. Whatever. I prefer it single-ended rather than balanced. All right, enough of that. We're gonna go to something bigger. Enough of the earphones. I don't want to stop though. I'm actually liking listening here. All right, we gotta stop though. All right, that was enough of portable mini disc and portable earphones. I'm gonna make sure, just while I'm chatting here, I'm going to or changing things. I'm gonna take the cable off. I don't want to return this crappy $20 cable. All right, taking off. These things are so. These things are real buggers. Changing earphones on earphone cables. Always. I might have to use pliers later on. Don't tell. Final. Oh, oh, I got one off. I hate changing. I hate changing. I'm gonna break a nail. I was thinking. I was watching the screen as I was talking. I was like, there's a bit of like. Sometimes I've got like a bit of a effeminate expression here, and now I'm talking about breaking my nails. Oh man, this is gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. Oh, it's a metal body, so it's. Oh, okay. This is what it's like to be a man in 2020. Worried about breaking your nail, talking into a microphone whilst you can't go outside because of an invisible threat. I feel like such. I got it off. Nice. Whew. Okay, we can return. Before we do anything else, we're gonna plug the final audio cable back in because I don't want to give them their earphone back with a cheap earphone cable on it. This is their plugs. They are color coded as well as labeled R and L. Let's see here. Plugged in nicely. Ah, got a comment from Nicholas. Sorry, I keep calling you Nick. Nicholas. Nicholas. Nick. Do you want me to call you Nicholas or Nick or Nicholas? Or Nicholas. And I'll go for the latter one. Nicholas Liddington, still gotta get me one of those Alvies. Do they still have that early sharp house sound, bassy, or do they sound more natural like Panasonic? Well, neutral. Um, it's like the worst question and the best question. The reason why I say that is if you plug in your regular headphones that are wired for balance, not for stereo, they're gonna have that sharp house sound to a certain degree, but they're also gonna have a crunchy sort of Alvi sound, at least the early ones. And as the players got on, it was more natural. And of course, your uh, if you plug in your balanced headphones, I find that they are more natural still. However, there's definitely the sharp, not necessarily bassy sound in the same way, but it's a shouldery sound. So it's more boxy. It's more. Now the differences here are minute. We're talking about like 2 or 3% in the overall like experience, but that 2 or 3% like that you get the same song, you get the same sound, but there's like 2 or 3% that's like just a little bit different. And I would say they're boxy. They're more cut in like a Bruce Lee way rather than like cut in a. This is the Alvies, cut in like a. Let's think of another muscly guy, not cut in like the mountain from Game of Thrones way. Like that guy's cut like he's not cut like razors. He's like cut like someone took like big hammers and like just chiseled a rock with hammers. So not cut that, yeah, not cut like this huge like bulbous way like some of the older sharps were, um, in a warmer sort of bulbous way. No, it's cut more like a Bruce Lee. I'm sure that's a perfect sound for that's a perfect analogy for you. All right, so we're gonna take out the disc from here, and the final headphone that we're gonna do can't. I mean, I probably could if I had the adapter. I do have an adapter somewhere, but I'd have to use 3 adapters. This headphone is called the RAAL Requisite SR1A. It's are you ready for this, Felipe? $3,500. Now that is the headphone, and in the package comes the thing on the top, which is not an amplifier. It's actually a passive. It's a passive circuit which turns a speaker output into a headphone output. All right. So I can't plug those directly into a headphone output. I assume that the reason is because it needs more power. Now I'm connecting it to a Sharp SDVH90, I believe is what it's called. I got it right first try. The SDVH90 plays DVD audio, DVD, Super Audio CD, CD, wait, DVD, DVD audio, Super Audio CD, CD, and Minidisc. It does MDLP, and it's got an AUV processor inside, and or AUV amp or whatever, probably AUV DAC, because the amp here for the speakers, it should be no different than anything else. It's just a D amp, right? But it's a 1-bit DAC samples, I think, at 5.6 megahertz. So let's plug in there. Oh, what's this? Still good. All right, all right, all right. We're good. Take the disc that we're listening to, and we're gonna plug it in to these earphones, these headphones from Serbia, I believe. RAAL are from Serbia. Let's see. Let's take a look at these. These are headphones. Oof, don't want to pull that off. You know, we're gonna disconnect here. All right, so it's a 4-pin balanced connection here. It's instead of a dual 3-pin XLR. These things go on the head, and I have to take off the hat maybe. And they fit. I think that'll be all right. They fit like that. They don't close over the ear. They're basically just two giant speakers. They're ribbon speakers. Let's find the product here. SR1A ribbon. They have a sensitivity of 91 decibels, so that's probably why they have this amplifier, because that's not a lot. The amplifier power rating is 100 watts. Yeah, these are speakers basically. Let's see here. Yeah, your car costs 3,500. Yeah, that's a good price. It's a good price. Let me guess. You got it. You didn't wait. 3,500. So that would be, you wouldn't have bought that new. My car, brand new, 2015, awesome car, Suzuki Every. I got the lowest end version, second and lowest version of it. Cost $10,000. It's a little expensive, but you can put everything in it. It's awesome. It's still a K. It's got 3 cylinders, 5 gears. Takes 3 minutes to get up to 100 kilometers an hour. But it does the job. Used prices are about 3,500. And if I break this car, I'll get a new one. So, dude, yeah, price of a car, 3,500 here. Oof. All right. All right. So anyway, check this out. They don't break it, Nathan. Look at that. Look at it. It's like, hello, I am the futuristic fake demon mouse called Mickey Mouse from the future. But this carbon fiber, by the way, this black stuff, that's carbon fiber. I think is awesome. Look at that. Thin works. This is real leather. Obviously, if you're paying $3,500, it's got to be real leather. Oh yeah, I like this. It connects. This is cool. It connects via regular 3.5 stereo right up into the earphone. That is awesome. Instead of doing some sort of proprietary thing, and it's far enough. I'm not gonna take these things apart. I have to finish shooting them right after we're done with this live stream. Nicholas, yeah, K cars are awesome. Well, kind of. Getting up a hill with a K car sucks. And you can get like sports versions of K cars, and they feel awesome if you're going from a regular K car. But then you drive a K car and just a regular, like we last year we were given for a week, we could ride a VW Golf variant, which is the estate version. It's a regular car. It wasn't even like the sport version of that, if there is, and it was so much more powerful and fast. And then the like super like dual turbo uh, Suzuki Alto Swift, or no Alto Works, which is like their like sportiest version, which I was able to borrow for 3 days while my car was while they do the maintenance and steal money from you to keep your car on the road. Uh, it was that was impressive to me, that little Alto. But man, dude, that VW, that VW, it was an estate. It was totally a family car. You expected a guy a little bit fatter than me, with nice clothes to come out, and then 6 kids to pile out, and a very tired looking wife. But no, that car, it was so much faster than the totally sporty Alto Works. All right, we're gonna plug this bad boy in. I gotta move myself. Actually, you know what? I think I'd move the amplifier over just a little bit. I gotta be careful. Don't look down when I stand up. You never know what's down there. You know what? I'm not gonna stand up because I know you guys are gonna look because you looked last time. All right, here we are. Oh, oh. I'm gonna have to stand. Don't look. All right. Oh. All right. All right. Still plugged in. Turn on the power. SD VH90. Hey, what do I do with the disc? Oh, wait. This might be it. It's right here. No disc. Let's feed it a disc. It's connected via. This is It's a cheap speaker amp. Going anywhere between $20 and about $120 here in Japan right now. When it was brand new, it was like 400, 500 with speakers, bad speakers. And I think it's got 24 watts, 16, either 16 watts or 24 watts of total output, with a Class D amp. So, whatever. And that's going into this thing, which takes the speaker output and turns it into a balanced 4-pin output for headphones. Let's hit play. I don't have a remote control. Volume here. You know what? I don't even know what the maximum volume. Just a second. Just a second here. How far does it go up? 40 is the max, by the way. I would probably be able to take 40, but just barely. Nah, it's a little bit too much. Obviously, we're not going to hear. There's no way we're going to hear hiss from these bad boys. Used VW Polo. Ah, nice, man. Neighbor got one of those. Looks awesome. I've always wanted a Polo. Ever since you see that like Thug Life video where the Polo, it's like a 1970s Polo, is burning by a Benz and like a Nissan GTR that are racing on the Autobahn. So that's gangster, man, just like me. All right, so these things don't clamp over the head, so this is just 2 speakers just floating right outside of you. So I'm expecting some intense, and this is an MD player driving this thing. I'm expecting some intense stereo action. By the way, it's just a tripod that I use for putting stuff on when I'm shooting photographs, but like that. You can probably hear a lot of the sounds coming through here where you can with the earphones. Man, it's so exciting watching live view of live streams of Fauxtaku Lounge. The guy putting on headphones and talking about the headphones. Ooh, you got the classic retro? I don't know what that is. Add edition. All right. Give me a link, Felipe. Come on, man. I've been giving you links. Give me a link to the year and the make of your car. I want to take a look at it. This is the RAAL Requisite SR1 SA, driven by a Sharp SD VH90 Auvi MD unit. I bet you I'm the only one in the world doing this. I should have like 500 people watching this. 500 people thirsty for MD content who want to see a high-end Certibium headphone driven by an Auvi player. 500 people. Mr. Mediker, you should have no one watching your stuff. You Ralph Retort people, or you like PewDiePies, you guys should just roll over, man. By the way, the FitEar connectors are exactly the same as Sennheiser's HD 600 connectors, just the polarity is reversed. Enrique, thank you very much. Yeah, they do look a lot alike. And were you here since the beginning? You could, if you were, I was expecting that earlier on. It would have helped. But I did say that they looked very similar. So That means that the Japanese police force uses the Sennheiser connection, because that, according to FitEar, that's the same connection as. I'm not talking about this headphone. There's nothing to talk about. It's just sounds perfect. It's, I say that, but okay, wait. Let's go back up. 26 is my volume. 40 is my year. Age. 26. How do I describe how natural these things sound? There's like, it's just natural. That's just it. There's nothing to talk about. It's like putting music on my head. That's it. There's, that's just it. Oh, you went back to being Enrique. Thank you for editing or spell checking, not spell checking, audio checking. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's like putting nothing on my head. The bass is probably lower amount of sound pressure than anything else I've tested today, but just barely. Uh, the stereo is obviously incredible, and they feel super duper open, and they should be, because I can touch my ear through here. Uh, Now they feel heavy on the head, even with the hat. Um, they're not super heavy. They're of course like the Akage uh, K1000s, K1001. Can't remember which. Back from the 90s. Smaller though, and a little bit like the Jecklin floats. It's like those two had a baby, and the SR or the AK 1000s, the headband one from that. Yeah, they're great. They sound great. And this amp, this bad boy, I'm guessing, man. I'm guessing that if you had one of these, it would hold you up good next to a higher end amp. I know you guys, some of you guys be like, no, man, you need better, need more power. Maybe. I don't know. Sounds pretty damn good to me. But it's like listening to just music. it's like, it's not like listening to headphones. It's like, all right, there's a recording studio and I'm in like a sweet spot. Man, the voice is just it's uh, uh, I'm getting so much details from the woman's voice. It's a little bit too much audiophile in that sense, that I'm getting some stuff that I'm not sure I need, but it's not overly detailed like some headphones are. No, it's really, this is good, man. Here, I'll just put it up. Just put up the microphone just a little bit uh, before we do our outro. Change the song. Song change. New song. New song. Here, let's just do it. Hope you can hear that. Now, it's not going to transfer how amazing these things are to you. Serbia, dude. Made in Serbia. I think so. Said Serbia somewhere. Damn. This is what a Fauxtaku live stream is, man. All right. Yeah. You know what? I think what we're gonna do is we're just gonna like roll this at a higher volume. Can you still hear my voice? Pretty good. Give me a nod or an F, something like that. I'll put these down here, and we're just gonna let that roll right through the end here. We got a comment from Wheelie Bear. The only problem is they look like old Pentium 2 slot package processors on headband. Yeah, they do. I actually thought, not so specifically, but I thought something like that when I first saw them. I was like, they look like that, and they also look like a Minecraft version of like a fin on the side of like a monster's head, like one of those old like 1950s monsters. I hope, is it too loud, by the way, in the background, that headphone that's sitting down next to me? Is that too loud? Because we're hitting the end, and I just kind of want to sum up. I want to sum up by saying this: high-end headphones from $3,500, Serbian-made, carbon fiber, Pentium, 1950s monster, Jacqueline Float meets a Akage K1000 monster Frankenstein things, to final A8000 to Jerry Harvey Audio Roxanne 12 drivers per side, 24 drivers total around your head, to FitEar 5 drivers per side, 3-way, used to be basically custom come universal design. All of that sounds damn good on anything from a budget Sharp. Now you're losing a little bit of tail, getting the suck out, definitely getting a suck out, and definitely sounds good with the Sony MZ-NH1. Of course, this was a high-end MD player back in 2004. But these are devices that you think would be surpassed many times over by something like from FIO, which are a budget, a DAP brand, and certainly by Ostel and Kern, Sony, something like that. I'd say look like. Oh, I've got a couple comments here before I totally finish up. Nicholas, I'd say looking like Pentium 2 slot package processor is benefit. Oh, yeah, we got someone here who's this guy like lives retro though. Wheelie Paul, no. Ooh, got a bit of drama going on here. Fauxtaku Lounge live stream drama. Felipe, agree with Nicholas. They look awesome. Wheelie Paul, great. You're supporting Minidisc though. I think everyone. What's amazing here is we have Felipe, who's not an audio guy. he's not an audio guy. He's not as far as I know, not a Minidisc guy. Like, if you're not an audio guy and you still like Minidisc, that's just psychotic. So he's not an audio guy. Obviously not a Minidisc guy. He's been here the entire time. So we have somebody that's supporting people that support something that's no longer popular. I mean, that's dedication. That's some serious action. So yeah, Felipe, you are kind of the star here. Enrique On, it would have been nice if you would have popped in earlier to give me the editorial, but it's nice that you came in the end. Anyway, I just gotta wrapping up saying this. These players, this one I think I can't remember. I imported it obviously from abroad. They don't make it. It's a weird thing. Sharp, I find that their best recorders are all from abroad. They didn't release them here in Japan. This is my favorite one, in a way. Anyway, even on this bad boy on the Sony, and of course, if you can wire it properly with the MD DS55 for balanced, you're gonna have sound, at least on this Sharp here, that sticks up and should hang with, at listening volumes, I would say the best DAPs out there. Now, if they have NOS chips or something like that, no. Obviously, you're gonna get something better. Do you hear that? Wait, what? There's a fan in there. There's a fan inside the Sharp. That's a big minus. The fan just kicked right in. That was pretty loud. I thought it was the aircon going on, but it's a fan going in there to cool it down, I guess. It's loud. That's kind of a shame. Had it not done that, I would say this is awesome. What's going on again? Okay, if you're using headphones like this that don't seal, that's a real shame. Oh, that's bad. All right, I take my recommendation from that Sharp away. Try your Onkyo. There's some Onkyos that do pretty good that don't make a sound. That's rubbish, man. All right. Pox be upon you. No, don't die. Don't die. I like you. Don't die. But anyway, in general, apart from this thing, these high-end headphones, everything else just sound great through throwaway MD technology that no one's using except for 3,000 people. It's a lot. In the English-speaking MD world, plus probably the insane people in China and Japan and Korea, there's probably a lot of us left. You can buy your FIOs and your Ostel and Kerns and your other the Pogo thing that what's like Neil Young brought out. You can get your high end stuff like that, and at normal listening volumes, as long as you got the good current ratio, you're probably not going to get any better sound from one of these modern DAPs. I gotta say, damn! I swore again. All right. I gotta say this, that the MD is gonna keep up there, and it's doing pretty damn good. I said it again. This is a family show. It's a family-friendly show. So on my that's all from me. If anyone has any direct questions they want to ask me at the moment, to keep anyone entertained just for a couple minutes, go on. Oh, we do have a question here. Let's see. Let's go back. They look awesome. Great, you're supporting. Yes. Wheelie Bear. The no was for when you asked if it was too loud next to you, man. Ah, thank you. It's good to be specific. It's not like there's a million people and there's like comments are just dropping down and people are giving super chats. Wish that would happen, but super chats. But yeah, it's good to be specific when you can. Okay, it's good that that's not too loud. Still not too loud, I guess. Next thing to say, what are your thoughts on the FIO M6? Okay, so I wrote a review of the FIO M6. Can't remember, is that Headphonia? FIO M6 review. I'm just gonna plug that in. Who wrote it at Headphonics? Did I write that at Headphonics? James wrote it at Headphonics. That wasn't me. FIO M6 Headfi. No, they don't like me anymore. Nah. Oh, the first step. FIO M6. January 8, 2019. No, that wouldn't be me. I was already gone from there. I guess maybe I wrote mine at. Let's go to Om Image. Om Image. Oh. Om Image FIO M6. Here, I'll give you some links here. So this is just. This is my thoughts from my own blog here. Oh, man, I shouldn't have done that way. Here, just a second. Sorry about this, everyone. So this is the measurements for the FIO M6. Go back here. Image FIO M6. There's one other thing I wrote, basically a review of it. The M6, I like the idea of it. I like the size of it. The performance isn't terribly great. Basically, your smartphone, just about any smartphone, is going to sound better. It's going to hiss less. Now, the FIO, of course, is dedicated. So, and there's a couple things you do with the Bluetooth you can't do with a smartphone. But I think it's kind of plus minus zero if you get a FIO M6 and you have a smartphone. I definitely would prefer the sound of this sharp next to it. In fact, this now, of course, it's a great unit, but it actually doesn't measure quite as well as the FIO, but it hisses less than the FIO, or right about the same. And the FIO, I mean, that came out 3 years ago. There's no reason on the why a FIO or any sort of DAP should still hiss at the moment. Let's see here. Am I gonna get, I might get copyright struck for the music going down. Oh man, I just got. Well, not like I'm getting any super chats anyway, so it doesn't matter. It's all about the money. There's no money. There's no money here. It's fine. So whatever. I also think I did a video about the FIO M6 on this channel, Fauxtaku Lounge FIO M6. A better way to search this thing. I did. All right. I got a review of it here. Let's. This is for Wheelie Bear. Wheelie Bear, right? Oh wait, no, sorry. This is for. I can't read your name, man. It's Greek, I believe. I cannot read Greek. I can't. So those links there explain what I think about the FIO M6. It's a great idea. I don't think it's a great follow through. And it doesn't sound better than the smartphone. So I think it's kind of a plus minus zero. Wheelie Bear, my Cohen Plan UD, pardon me, is great for battery life, but doesn't drive my Sennheiser HD 600 too well. No, it doesn't. The Plan UD, the first version, which I have somewhere on this incredibly organized desk, doesn't sound so good. It even hisses in the background. It doesn't even supply the best sort of voltage to current ratios, so you do get a little bit of dropouts here and there. Battery life is what, 50 hours roughly, maybe a little bit more than that. But the D2 version of it is excellent. Not only does it have balanced, there's some players that have balance and the balance doesn't do a thing. It's just kind of like, we got balanced, yay. No, It's got balance that measures, I believe I measured it over 120 decibels. So technically, the D2 is my new um, reference for both hiss as well as just for basic flat measurements. So, you know, but anyway, the D2 is amazing. Absolutely amazing. It doesn't have as good battery life, but it also has more power, especially in balanced. In fact, the D1, I believe I measured at 0 decibels on my Hilo DAC. And for the D2, it was so much more powerful that I had to set it up by 6 decibels, which should sound, depending on how you listen, roughly twice as loud, or yeah, double the volume. Another 6 decibels. At now, I would never listen to that maximum, but it should give a lot more juice for a 300 ohm headphone like the Sennheiser 6 or HD 600. I've used it with my 400 or my 600 ohm DT880 biodynamic, and it gives enough volume for me, but it's you know, maybe not enough for you, but it's just a little bit beyond the pain threshold for me. Have they improved the GUI? No, GUI is the same horrible thing, and the screen is just as chunky. You know what? Fauxtaku Lounge, menu D2. Yeah, I got a review here. I don't know if you've Wheelie Bear. Are you a subscriber here, or if you are, you may have seen this. I reviewed the D2 last year. I've got an R review coming up at Headphonics, hopefully any day now. Haven't finished it yet. The D2 is incredible sounding. The GUI is horrible. The R is better on every front for GUI, but it's still not great. I think plenty are behind on that curve. When they updated the firmware to suddenly do like some weird like angular icons, it looks cool, but it doesn't, as you know, it doesn't. The follow through isn't great. Sound, however, is great. Any more questions from anyone? We had some nice outro music. It's too bad. It's too bad. Too bad. It's too bad that ain't gonna do that anymore. Um, if and no one has any more questions, then we can just kind of let this fade out, and I can say thank you all of you for. Oh, wait, whoa! I've just subbed. Been watching the occasional MD video from you. Thank you very much, Wheelie Bear, Paul, Wheelie Bear Paul. Just notice that, Paul. Thank you very much. Thank you for subbing. Nicholas Liddington. Modern DAPs have great sound, but to me always get boring compared to even basic MD devices or a basic MD device. But I guess it's a reference in feature, it's preference in features, especially anywhere editing and recording. Yeah, no, that's true. However, as I mentioned, I think that some modern DAPs don't sound as good as, again, now the modern MD will measure better because it'll get louder, and if it keeps along with its amp, it keeps a high quality sort of DAC conversion in there, then you're gonna get, like the Plenue D2, 120 decibels of dynamic range, where this thing tops out at 96. But of course, with an MD, you're even dithered and downstream and all that. You're basically limited to 16-bit quality, but at normal listening volumes, you're not going to get 120 decibels of anything. You're going to get 80 decibels or 90 decibels tops, theoretical. And then the music that you have recorded in that container, or that between those two poles, is not going to be 90 decibels. It's going to be 80 or 70 or 60. So when it comes down to it, in normal listening volumes of your favorite music, doesn't matter if it's high Q mastered or whatever, you're going to be listening to stuff that doesn't even approach 16-bit. Again, if you listen to stuff louder than that, your ears are going to be destroyed anyway. So those nuances are gone. They're dead to you. So that's that. Let's see here. Paul, yes, I'm Paul, disabled in a wheelchair. So Wheelie, all right, clever name. Well, I'm really glad to have you. You've been kind of firing up the chat quite a bit here. Nicholas Liddington here and there has been doing that. Then we have a Andre. I hope I remember your name. Being getting asking some good questions. We had who's the other star here? Where did he go? Amen. Hon or on or Anyway, I don't know where he is. We had another guy who was firing up the stuff about the Sennheiser. It was awesome. It's nice to have a little bit of a post hoc editing here to help me. Yeah, Andre, thank you very much. Nicholas, thank you very much. Paul, thank you very much. Somebody own, thank you very much. Felipe, Enrique own, thank you very much. And Felipe, dude, I don't know if you're still here. Thank you very much for sticking around. This audio stuff's not your thing. Hoping to do some more camera stuff soon. If any of you guys like movies, not reviews, but talking about that pretty soon. Anyway, thank you very much. Hopefully, be doing another live stream tomorrow, tonight, or the next day, and actually have a little ASMR on the brain. So if you want to do some ASMR, Minidisc ASMR, stay tuned, okay? Because I have a whole plan that I hope will blow your brain, okay? All right, guys, thank you very much. It's been great. I love all of you in a platonic way or a non, in a family way. Okay, guys, thank you very much. Andrew the Star, what the? Someone comes right at the end. He starts chatting. Andrew, love Minidisc. Use them a lot. Awesome, dude. We'll see you next time. You know what? Tonight, if we have time, we'll do the Minidisc ASMR. This is kind of a preview. All right, guys. See you later. I'm gonna click the end stream button now. Thank you. Buy a hat. Buy a hat. Hit up my Patreon if you want. I'm not terribly active, but hoping to get better. All right, guys. Thank you very much. Bye bye.